Okay, here we are. Welcome to the audio commentary portion of your fine Blu-ray or DVD. Gore Verbinski, the director, and I'm here. You know, set up unique, because that's kind of what the sequence was calling for. And, you know, every shot we placed the beams in, we put them hopefully in the right spot, tried to frame people, pop them off the background, you know, get as much atmosphere as we could into the sequence.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, this film doesn't have that clean, shiny, simplified cartoon vibe. It's highly detailed environments, highly detailed characters, and you know, lighting is so important to make everything read and live together and not just be a jumble of...
Well, it's interesting because I think early on, you know, not having made an animated movie and not really knowing how to, it's quite liberating because every discussion was about live action. What we do, 27, drop thing, put them on an apple box, you know, move that to the left. Every, you know, negative fill here, bounce, we need to, you know, smoke in the, you know, smoke moving in the shafts, you know, ceiling fans, interacting, cheats that we do on set constantly.
Yeah. As well as accidental things that happen on the set. That
yep, compositionally, you know, performance, everything, you know, creation of anomaly and the preservation of anything awkward that we could find and sort of champion and preserve it through the process, because everything tends to get so clinical so quickly. You know, that was my big fear, was that iterations were going to just destroy any sense of that this is happening. I want to feel like I've got a camera on my shoulder and there's a 5'8" lizard talking to a, you know, a tortoise or whatever, and you know, it's like we're using take 3 for the close-up and take 9 for the, you know, so it has to feel like, in the skies are changing between takes and clouds are mismatching, and everything about the film has to, you know, we have to kind of fabricate this feeling that we're there filming it. It's occurring. It's not conceived.
I think it worked, and I think your quest to have all of those imperfections, it reads, even for people who don't know film inside and out, they just feel there's something about this that's different.
Well, the depth of background animation, too, how, you know, from the whole team, keeping, you know, giving somebody in the background, whether it's, you know, Lenny pulling his finger, you know, nervously, or, you know, everybody's got someplace they're coming to and going, you know, coming from and going to. That was really, I thought, a really, you know, phenomenal experience up at Island with the animators in particular, was to, and with, you know, James Tooley and, you know, cloth.
Other ones we had kind of generic sims that we were able to plug on the top of the torches. Really looking like at those references for exposure and things like that, because, you know, really blowing them out, just letting it go.
And the glow, the atmospherics.
You did the temp voice for Priscilla through the film. I was thinking that, just looking at that
I
scene.
did all the ladies.
He did Beans and Priscilla. He was great.
tough getting over those voices. Because you lived with them for a year and a half.
Well, thank you.
And just, you know, they pulled it off.
And, you know, you talk about the movie and you have to explain to them what a prostate is.
Oh, yeah. Those are family-building moments.
Exactly.
The seasoning when preparing your native dishes.
Also natural laxative.
I would bring Gil Birmingham in to talk about molting and mating and all those things.
Side saddle.
Yeah, this gets weird here. The posse is so confused.
When the guys were recording the audio for this, and all the actors are lined up, and he would come through and he would snap that glove and say that line, nobody could keep a straight face.
Yeah.
So funny.
That was a good day.
Scale.
Yeah.
That was
centimeter to the
Oh, my
left.
God.
And remember his crossed eyes? We realized Rango needs slightly crossed eyes to get that expression.
That was Frank Gravatt. I think he's still in therapy.
But you know what, having the challenge, that you know you're doing something kind of unique when you're faced with so many difficult aspects of a character.
This was the first mariachi shot we did, and honing in on their sort of seriousness and pride and all those things was really tough, because they're so naturally cute that the animators just wanted to make them bouncy and cute the way they're playing their instruments, and sort of dialing that down and finding the true sort of mariachi vibe was pretty tricky, surprisingly tricky, actually.
It's also a demo, that song is a demo that Ken and Rick did in pre-production.
Ken Carmen, Rick Garcia.
never changed. And the interesting thing about the mariachis is they were at the sort of right around the time we were working on the narrative and the story reel and the kind of whole concept of the narrative was on the table. Crash, I remember you came in with I mean, the assignment was Creatures of the Desert, Western, go. Let's just see any creature, made into a bandito or a gunslinger or any kind of character from a classic Western. You walked in with that drawing of those mariachis,
yeah.
right around the time we're like, well, maybe this film needs like a great chorus or it's going to need some sort of setup. Yeah, Ballou kind of, somebody singing of the demise, the guys with the coconuts, and Sir Robin, we were, again, literally that same day, you walked in with that drawing.
The stars aligned up there.
There they are.
That was cool.
Those are our chorus.
And I have to point out, Gore has, in the house where we were working out of, about 400 guitars that we would start strumming and make up mariachi songs as we were designing this.
This sequence, this hawk escape sequence, was the first thing I saw as a running animatic that you guys had done. And
that's right.
It was so funny and exciting to see it because it's just got such great energy and timing. And
Dave Feast had storyboarded that.
I loved
really
his drawings
energetic way
of Rockeye the Toad were just terrific. So funny, such funny drawings.
Those are classic. Yeah, that blend-in concept was like probably goes back to like 2003 with the very first kind of idea of Rango. I just remember it saying, I can only get so far in the pitch, and it was like, and he meets this rock, blend in, and it was that concept sort of seemed to kind of spur this whole identity quest, and the guy doesn't belong, the fish out of water. And by the way, Rick, I know John and Tom did a great job with this music, and Joe Nunez is playing Rockeye, who was amazing, and we also have Jose Fernandez, who did the yodel voice, which was phenomenal. I mean, he just came in at the last minute and
he's a world-class yodeler.
Oh my God, it was fun. He just did it like in one take. Did that yodel, and it was so great. And music was so key. Working with Hans and talking about Schadenfreude. This concept of like the
enjoying
glee.
someone else's discomfort.
Yeah, the glee and the demise of the protagonist. I think they really captured it. It was always a musical sequence. This sequence.
It's funny the things you don't think are gonna be of any concern at all, like the size of that bottle.
Right.
We had, when he's laying in it, it has to be one size. When he's running in it, it has to be much bigger. And we cheated it all over the place. It's a bunch of different sizes.
All I can think of is
Stephen Root dancing around.
Yeah, fully committed.
And this the caw, really, really ridiculous. I mean, again, it's one of those things you kind of need to get it up on its.
And you're going to look at the whole sequence, and you're going to see the sequence's place in the whole movie and understand it. And
do you care about my opinion?
Super excited. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well, that's what I mean. It's like first start with the best, and then empower them in the context. I mean, just to hear, talking to Thule about, the cloth sim and like, where's the emotional state of the character? Where's he coming through? His shirt should feel a little damp here and bigger and heavier because he's down. Here it should be up and the scarf's blowing. And, having those conversations that are scene specific and the character of like, the water tower or the licorice stretch or, it's really nice when people start to go, oh, well, I'm essential. What I do is essential to the narrative, there's no context, in Pirates, the context was the shots that surrounded it that we would bring. This is like...
Yeah. I mean, usually we're delivered, there's so many decisions made upstream of us that, I still think visual effects are really creative, but there's a lot of decisions that are made while you're on set. And so we were part of that decision-making process, which was great.
And it was great to see what they brought to the table. Like adding, after a while, they got comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So things that you wouldn't expect that were added in just from the love of doing it was fantastic.
Also, while we're here, I should point out Russell Paul. He was our hard surface model supervisor, built most of the town, and all those breaking boards earlier, all those things are individually modeled.
That's a lot of polygons.
It's a lot of boards.
I love that overhead shot. That was based on a Dave Shannon drawing, right?
The
hawks laid out like that. I just have to say, Crash, also your addition of the metallic beak
Oh,
And the hawk was so
Billy Reed.
awesome.
Yes.
And we ended up using that as the ricochet. When
Yes. These are phony.
Where we went through a whole thing with the mayor when we first started seeing him in shots where he just didn't look like the man of power. Remember that? His shirt looked kind of rumpled and soft and a little
Yeah,
dirty.
yeah.
And, you know, we added that embroidery and sort of starched up his collar a bit.
Right,
and
cleaned up the hat just a little bit.
And straightened him up a little bit.
Stock. Vintage rainwater from the Great Deluge.
Another cool lighting situation in this road.
I was gonna say this. Number of people that have asked me what that eye is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People want to be so literal. One person asked me, is that Jake? It seems really, you know, is that like a foreshadow? I'm like, no, that's not.
we were at one point gonna show that the pill bugs were
It was Mama
feeding on
That was Mama Bill.
breastfeeding pill bugs on the eye. That got a little weird.
Even we
I
had to
like
rein
the,
ourselves
it's
in a little
We
bit.
have the model.
Well, I like the idea of finding Beans' dad, like his skeleton. or
That's
something.
right. Even the kind of, you know, shh, don't say anything. Big bottle, can of beans and everything.
Yeah, just like that. So we cheated his arms longer here, so it looked like he could reach the guns, but very clearly he can't.
This,
I love hearing people
Snap.
in the audience always react to that knuckle
Cringy.
cracking.
Yeah.
Peter Miller did a great job with the sound design. They were really, and Addison, trying to, you know, we had that squeaky windmill in the temp forever, and he kept coming back with vert.
Beat it all over the place.
That's
but
true. They move every
in
shot.
every single scene, they had to be just right.
And we were having some issues with disappearing telephone poles at that same time.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, you know, Crash did this incredible design of roadkill based on a sketch that Gore did.
Now, help me up, and I will help you find what you seek.
You will?
And perhaps more. Quickly now, I must get back to my quest.
You mean you've done this before?
Oh, yes, many times. Yeah. Come. That's it. Pull my finger.
Also, Jim, your first drawing of Rango was really, you know, holding the glass of, you know, holding this kind of water cocktail with that shirt in, you know, standing in the middle of the nowhere. It was really ingredient, but nobody can have the same. You're gonna end up with too much garlic, and
Because sometimes you go to animation and all the voices kind of sound the same, and this.
yeah,
everyone has
it's a
their
live
pitch.
action problem too. With, you know, you cast too many characters that look the same.
Yeah.
You know, there is something nice about, you know, the Laurel and Hardy of it all.
But just having everybody, you know, Waffles has this very wispy voice, and then there's John Cothran that's, you know, he said, follow the pipe.
Well, it's empty now.
John's great, and that's Jim doing Waffles. That was a keeper too. I mean, there were some of the voices. You know, your Waffles, my Sergeant Turley. You know, Crash is, you know, Parsons. It's some of them just made it through, but
The
The
beautiful Miyazaki-esque kind of moment of mystery and.
I can't tell you.
your voices.
This is Crash McCreary.
What do you do, Crash McCreary?
Tell us more. What is Crash?
Collard green.
Rango is so moved.
These rodents were a lot of
The
fun
inbred rodents are just
to create and
awful.
animate.
Again, great designs by Eugene Yelchin, and then taken to the next level by Crash.
That's right,
and-
Bucket
and
Lady
Ryan.
and
Yeah.
Maybelle.
Well, the whole process of crashification of characters was always a joy to watch. You know, you'd see this simple drawing transformed into.
It was
something that-
a unifying
Yeah, absolutely.
aesthetic, because every artist has got a different, especially, I mean, the difference between Dave Shannon, you know, Jim, Eugene, you know, and Crash, they're so radically different, and they all had to get processed by one brain.
Dave and Eugene's background in children's books just brought a whole nother element to the design process. Never would have
The
been-
silhouette, you know, I mean, you can sort of always tell a great character if you just draw the silhouette.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And we kind of had a rule: every character needed to be broken a little bit. Like you can't just have a guy with bunny ears. He's got to be missing an ear.
Well, it's the same sort of, you know, no parallel lines in the town, no, you know, no right angles, no, you know, everything had to be a little fuzzy.
I love this environment. The cave dwelling and the whole
Yeah.
canyon. It's just gorgeous.
We actually tried to do Ride of the Valkyrie with nothing but banjos. That was the original plan. Like, no, just 500 banjos, nothing but banjos, all the parts. And that didn't work so good. And it was so annoying. You couldn't even tell what tune it was. This is so horrific. We abandoned that.
Here, you try.
Now, this was one of the few scenes that we did pre-viz.
And Alex Cannon and Dan Heater were at the house for months.
For
and
months,
months.
yeah, they
and
joined
remember we
us.
had those like little toy airplanes. We were flying. We were like videotaping flying because.
Yeah.
And you know the storyboard. I mean, I thought Josh Hayes' storyboards were great for this, and
Dave
so was
Lowry
Tom's,
helped us.
and
Yeah.
you know, really great storyboards. But the timings for a sequence like this from storyboards were just impossible. So, and really tight. I mean, the previs.
Oh yeah.
Very
timing
accurate,
wise,
yeah.
very accurate. I mean,
Well, both Alex and Dan are actually, I think, going to go very far because they have an innate sense of cinematic storytelling. That
And when the
really worked.
previous wrapped, Alex came up and he worked in both in our layout group and as an
That's
animator.
right.
That's right.
up
He
at
did some
ILM.
awful shots.
A dream job for
Oh man, he was so happy. He was just, this is where they made Star Wars. I get to work here.
That's what I was saying every time I got to go up.
Children with Dynamite.
Nice explosion, Sims.
But I'm glad we didn't cut this down too much because I think for an action scene, this actually develops nicely, and it's not just these random action shots. There's a progress to the story here.
Yeah, there was some music redundancies that we had to overcome early on. I mean, I think in the temp, there was a lot of the same sort of generic music. And once we got the themes back, and actually once we got the Rango tune in the third section, you know, it really started to feel like it was culminating.
I mean, the fact that this happens, that in the middle of this crazy action scene, Rango is having a
Peter Pan
epiphany
experience.
of his dream come true of
I
getting
was
to
wanting
fly.
to be on the wire.
Yeah. And there's so much character in that moment that's what's important to him.
No, this was really the centerpiece of that.
Hitching up his skirts.
Yeah.
This took a lot of back and forth to get feeling right.
Mm-hmm. And then we were trying to figure out how to get Rango back down to the stagecoach.
This tune's a great tune too. Hans wrote this. You know, we had so many tunes from the animatic. When he wrote this tune and the tune that's in the bar, he wrote this like 7-minute opus. And remember that bar scene, that like trying to get that to sit with the dialogue took forever. But really great, you know, old school.
He lands on Spoon. I don't know if people can hear, but Spoon says, "That wasn't altogether unpleasant."
And Rango breaks the fourth wall slightly as he goes down.
That's right. What kind of film is this?
Yeah.
I love the ambush. Woo, 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 as he's getting out of
Very Stooges.
The tooth gets knocked out there. Really good. That's one of my favorite shots too. That pan back.
And Maya, our lead animator again on Beans, she, you know, we had given her all these really tough acting moments of Beans, and so when we got to the sequence, she came to me and she said, "Look, I really want some action. I want to do some shots in the bat sequence. Can I please do it?" And so she did this section here with Beans and Rango on the wagon.
And the stretching the legs.
Yeah,
That we had to come back and redo 4 times.
that's true. Through no fault of Maya's. It was just a
Who
conceptual
modeled the
rework.
canyon? Who actually made
Oh
all
my
those?
God,
That was
beautiful.
Dan Wheaton. He's one of the guys in our Digimat department. Figured out a great way to build this canyon and make.
Now, Wounded Bird did survive, just so you know. You'll see him in the coda.
Are you telling me?
No, I'm telling this pile of kids in front of us.
The viewer at home.
Kids. This is not for kids.
Whoa!
Except for the water sim here.
That was
pretty
huge.
extraordinary. I mean, that's. I think I was a little bit afraid of the sequence for quite some time.
Yeah.
We had to figure out how many explosions we could actually get away with.
I like-
That's the minimum.
I like how we started to pair up characters later. Like Melanie becomes Boo's mom. I mean,
Yeah.
Some made sense, some not so much.
yeah.
The bell going up is great when that water hits it.
This is the section now where, you know, like you're talking about the compositing gore, where, you know, it's like we start getting some rainbows in
Rainbows,
there and all
beautiful,
kinds of lens
yeah.
flares and the atmospherics of the you know, coming off of the water. It's lots of reference we used from fire hydrants exploding and things like that to try to get that really atmospheric look.
Well, this was a tough
Really
concept to
great
get
job.
right.
The whole team here with the mist and also the separation from the geysers and the mist. Oh yeah, the glass reflection.
The reflection is so
Wow.
complicated.
And then full aerial combat. I love that
And
they're
then
just
Beth Grant's
smoking.
line that we re-recorded.
Look at
8
the black
times.
smoke. Just you know.
I like that the bats blow
Motors.
up like airplanes blow up.
Why not?
And did they all die? All those,
That was the plan.
all those.
Hey, wait a minute. This
We're going to
plan.
sacrifice 18 of our own to save 3.
Wait,
I'll make more.
They're very durable.
don't think too hard about the
Do
plan.
not question the logic.
And
Oh yeah.
Of course, he
about her.
forgot about this. Yeah. Whoops.
plan B. Well, other than that, perfect plan.
Foolproof. Yes, right.
Gonna have to go to plan B.
I like how Angelique is having second thoughts also. Like, I don't know if I want this job.
And the other
And
foot.
like, yeah, which
Yeah,
one?
the whole
Yeah.
time.
We never found a spot to do that, but it's
Sequel.
sequel. That's
Can I have your boots when you're dead?
No! I ain't got no problem with this rattlesnake, Jake.
That's just what Amos said.
Amos?
God, that lighting is amazing.
So here we see that
Yeah,
Rango is
I
just
love-
one of many sheriffs.
Hold my beer and watch this.
So the pipe,
The monolith.
that's everything. Water is everything in this movie from the beginning to the end.
My fellow Dirtonians, I welcome you to our...
It's all about like putting shadows of characters on the edge of frame to just make it feel like there's more.
Yeah, everything.
crowds are just so tough to do. They're just a lot of work, and I love these guys. They're so random. It's like
The frogman.
Acolytes.
chainmail.
Acolytes.
The crowd thing is it's so opposite of live action, right? Where you bring in your extras and you just
You got 'em for a
Easy.
day.
That's the cheap part.
300
Once you got
people.
'em.
Everyone we added here was sort of
Grab
that
the
was
craft
sort of a-
service guy and throw him out there.
And a lot of this, we'll start seeing in these next few sequences a lot of the background characters that we had to build as well. Some of them based on some of the foreground guys. Like there's a guy based on Papa Jode,
Right.
with the big beard and the arm sling.
How did we end up with that hippie? That's what the pear-shaped hippie guy. Like, I'm like, why does that guy keep showing up in shots?
With the big old body.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you know.
It's a little Sid and Marty Krofft.
It's definitely he
He's the guy who snuck on set, for sure.
Yeah, somebody's cousin.
This glop that falls on his face is terrific. It always gets a great reaction.
Great music through here, too.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's his fault! It's the newcomer! Burn him! He's a witch! I get his boots!
My friends,
I just love how it keeps coming back to, the thirst. It's a town that's drying up, but Rango is thirsting for adventure and thirsting for love. And by the end, it comes. The water comes and the love comes and the adventure comes.
I loved your one sheet, the be who you aren't story.
Yeah, that's what it is, a be who you aren't in order to find who you are.
Scotch.
And a sign that says, "Welcome, Andromeda 5."
Aliens are coming.
I know you're friendly.
Tennis shoes.
Another great lighting moment here, I think, when the lights go out.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That's nice.
Really nice transition.
So this is the first time Rango actually does something sort of worthy of being a sheriff, and Beans notices. They're kind of developing a connection here.
It's also our this was one of my favorite scenes, actually. The crowd, the ravenous crowd.
The whole thing shaking. They're about to tear it down.
And the sort of involuntary, remember when I tried to get this like involuntary shiver spasm?
When he finally sees
Like,
the water.
right here. Kevin just,
Yeah, Kevin Martell again.
Yeah, Rango is so thirsty, and he can't believe it when he sees the shoulder.
gonna have to change the undies.
And Johnny just nailed this too.
Yeah, he crushed
Trying
it.
to keep control.
It was great to have all the crowd, when we shot this audio, to have the whole crowd there, so I could really perform, a little more projection. This water was great too. Really,
Just the waste.
I like there's a shot coming up where Merrimack looks like he wants to say something about him wasting
that's
the water.
beautiful. Really beautiful.
Doesn't quite speak up.
right there.
Who animated that?
I don't remember.
Pal.
I know.
Just
I
make
should
it.
have all committed to
Maya gets
memory.
credit for
Yeah.
it. We had such an amazing collection of character actors on the stage with us. Everybody. Blake Clark.
Blake Clark was amazing.
Ian Abercrombie. Lana Ubach.
No, she's
a talent
fantastic.
boy. Gosh.
Lou Temple.
Lou, who can
Stephen Root.
do no wrong.
Alex Manoogian, his spoons.
You know, Alex came in as a temp voice on the animatic. He was a friend of ours who would come by, and I've known him for years, and we said, can you do just an old man kind of?
He crushed spoons. You know, he did that read for the prayer.
He did the
And
prayer
it's
that
just
moved us to tears.
unbelievable.
And we tried to find a replacement. When we actually cast the movie, it was, all right, let's find a real old guy now. And we couldn't find any better than Alex, and so he ended up doing it for the movie.
He was great.
He was so happy. He loved being with the character actors,
Yeah.
hearing their stories.
I love the dingle balls on the hat.
Yeah.
Here's Alana and Kim.
Hold on there, Gordy. Now you get back on in there and you search yourself, man.
Our town drunk there. Great character.
Thank you, Sheriff.
We have a drunk in
That's
our
right,
film.
Jim.
A couple
Several.
of drunks.
This is one of the-
Cactus juice.
Cactus juice. That's what it is.
This was one of our first sort of nighttime look sequences, like trying to figure out what color the skies were.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, our inclination was to go blue, but you guys, you
Yeah.
know, wanted to get kind of more of a cyan, kind of green look, which
Yeah, I
I
love
think,
Frederick Remington's night
Yeah,
paintings. There's always that green sky.
Beautiful.
and we really see it in the love sequence later.
Yeah. This was a tough lighting thing, too.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's like a Renaissance painting.
I love
Yeah,
this kid.
Deakins was you pretty much count on him saying more contrast.
Yep.
Every time we call him up.
Now, Crash, here's another example where you did use the real actor as the basis of your design.
Yeah, Harry, I took that, no offense to Harry, but I literally ripped any feature I could off of Harry Dean Stanton for Pappy.
Harry Dean was such a trip to work with. And Vincent and Ryan Hurst and Vincent did just an amazing job.
As Jedediah and Ezekiel.
Some of that stuff, Lufa, and his hand gestures are so great. Ryan just, his
Yeah.
fingers, really keying off.
Missouri. Protected morning, noon, and night by yours truly.
Much obliged.
Then here's Crash.
Crash's big acting moment. So I love the morning light here. How did you guys do that?
We used some reference the reference you mentioned earlier that John Knoll did of the saloon. He did an early morning light there, and Gore sent us some reference from the weatherman that actually gave us the kind of two-tone color in that sequence. And it was something we struggled with early on in the film Meet Bean sequence, where we were trying to do an early morning light there. Didn't feel right for the sequence. We were struggling to get the look right, but I think we got it better here.
Yeah, it was really chromatic.
The character, we traded, one kind of comedic thing for a kind of reality
For a
that
real
came with
girl.
it, and it was just great.
Oh, I think that, it's so great to have this immense, the dream team, talent-wise.
Yeah.
Everybody, come on. Harry Dean Stanton and Ned Beatty and Alfred Molina, and, it was just a joy, absolute pleasure.
Gore, you did a great job in sort of having each character have their own wavelength in terms of their voice
The bouillabaisse.
quality.
Yeah, everybody's in with four amazingly talented amigos, compadres, friends. Why don't you guys self-introduce so that we know?
Dramatic down to such, perfection in sort of an unrelenting.
But you have so
waves
much
of
faith.
passes.
There's so much faith that that a drawing with a soundtrack is going to be the right length once you start seeing it move.
Yeah.
That is really difficult.
But it is amazing.
Beautiful design.
It is amazing though how accurate the your story reel was to the to the final. Like we really spent all of our time putting the pictures on the screen rather than
I think it was
re-editing
critical,
and changing and
critical to Max to take Ilam's and the talent there and really focus it on not changing, iterations towards, a goal rather than iterations sort of spazzing out and heading in different directions. I mean, it really was nice to have a sharp story reel.
I wish you'd drawn telephone poles, though, in your
Oh,
story.
my God. Forever.
Telephone pole continuity.
Telephone poles and clouds. That's all I think about when I watch this scene.
Roadkill was
composition.
Composition, yeah.
Recording somebody in isolation and somebody else in isolation, trying to put together that moment where they've got their arms around each other, and it's it's joyously awkward. I think that it's just so great to have the actors in one space, and particularly, Johnny and Isla.
They did a great job. Isla actually improv the little cuddle line, which was great. We kept from the live action shoot.
And that footage was just a huge resource for the animators. I mean, to be able to go and look at that every time they were starting a shot and mine it for every bit of business and it was just terrific. It was just a great foundation for them to do their work on.
I love this part.
Yeah, that's fully Johnny, fully committing. There's no halfway there. And that was really interesting also to these actors to have them doing 10 pages a day, because you think about the process, 1.5 years story reel, 20 days with the actors, 1.5 years at ILM, even longer because I was starting to build assets, but that 20-day period, 10 pages a day, these actors are used to doing a page and a half, 2, go back to your trailer, come back out a half hour, do 2 lines of dialogue, go back into your trailer in live action. And it was really interesting to see, everybody kind of frustrated at the beginning, and then by the end, oh, right, acting, remember that? You go, and you're ripping through it, and I think it was really great to see, the whole cast sort of come alive.
Beans was a tough character to design.
Oh, yeah,
She was actually the last character we designed. Rango was the first that we locked onto, and Beans was 1.5 years later by the time we
she was tough,
got it designed
I
down.
think she came out great.
It was hard because sometimes she was too monstrous or she was too pretty. We had to find just the right balance between the two. At one point, Isla walked in the room while we were designing her, and she gave us some suggestions on. She did. She asked for some certain enhancements on Beans that actually it made it better. It really did. So she takes credit now for the final design of Beans, which she should.
Throw it to her every time.
Yeah, what's that cup size?
But seeing them next to each other is really interesting. She's about 3 inches taller than Rango.
I remember we had a head size problem at one point.
Totally.
Yeah, the first time we put the 2 characters together to see how they looked together was ridiculous.
Yeah. And trying to figure out, is that real hair? Is she wearing a wig? Is it lizard hair? We know she needed hair.
That was a Dave Shannon drawing, Beans, that really nailed
that's right.
it. Yeah, he walked in with that drawing.
Dave Shannon had, and Eugene Yelchin had some
Well, you're going to see
huge
Eugene's,
hits.
I think Eugene's big win is Priscilla coming up.
Yeah.
He just walked in with that drawing of Priscilla, and it was just like,
Boom. Yeah.
that.
Bingo.
So there was a period of time for about a month or 2 where we had 4 or 5 great artists all just generating possible character designs.
Jim, Crash, Eugene, Dave Shannon.
Yeah.
That was, and sort of key characters. We knew we needed Rattlesnake Jake, knew we needed a tortoise, but then it was like populate this town, dirt.
Comp soup on the show. Really fantastic job.
Glass of water, another one of those things you wouldn't think would be such a big deal.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. But again, everything in this movie is about thirst. Beans wanted that water so badly.
Hold on.
I like how serious and scary Jake is in this scene. He's not a make-believe bad guy. He's a real bad guy.
He even freaks out Bad Bill.
Yeah. And those eyes were really a tough thing to try to figure out.
Yeah, I thought
how
that
bright, how dark, how.
That was a good blend, because we really wanted that fire, that hellish fire, but not have it look too phony.
I remember we got to this part in the movie. We're like, well, what does the back of Bean's head look like?
Upside down.
I think we turned Sherry Hansen upside down. And we did her hair.
She's a reference.
Thank you, Sherry.
I love that light to the
window
slats.
slats,
Yeah, really hot. Pure Zimmer here.
Atmospherics and dust.
The
everywhere.
dust is making it.
And I love the threads on that, his serape. How tactile it is. You know exactly what that would feel like if you put your hand on it, just looking at it.
Our modelers got very good at placing those things right in the right places, because it was always everything had to look, nothing could look new or clean.
That's just about the size of it.
Get your filthy paws off me!
Shut your gob! All right, Sheriff, make your move.
One bullet left.
We had to remember to remove all the bullets from his gun belt, because we had the shot like that. It was all full of bullets.
Yeah,
Like,
bloody.
well, that doesn't work.
You dummy. I love that through the glass. There's something so real about looking at the kids through the glass.
The dust stopping, and just the sound of the footsteps and the bell here.
And then we knew we had
clock
gone
tower.
so long without a laugh. We were trying to figure out how to get some funny little thing in here. And that was not it.
In the news, that was the big laugh.
There it is.
Yeah.
Snap.
Crunch. Nice
A
celery
lot of
crunch.
people die in this.
I love how it just twitches. But great close-up of the Gatling gun.
This is another that we storyboarded many times, and we...
Oh my God, this went on and on and on, the sequence. and cross-cutting with the, again,
With the
sort of
rodents
the water.
getting ready, yeah.
It was quite
This part.
more elaborate, you know. They were jumping in the hole and
That's
there was
right, a whole Mission
dialogue and,
Impossible sequence of them jumping in on lines.
Welding or
Yeah.
cutting it. Yeah.
They were welding the pipe and, you know, dropping down. He is, I mean, it was such a pleasure to work with him. And his performance in Network is still, you know,
Iconic.
unbelievable. I mean, you know, the primal forces of nature. I mean, he just, and there's a little movie called Wise Blood that he's in with Harry Dean.
Gore, that you didn't just want it to be wall-to-wall jokes and pop culture reference, that it would actually go to this serious place, and we were going to allow this wacky character to sort of undergo this existential crisis. It actually, worked.
This Exodus, you know, I mean, that's, you know, the Exodus, kind of epiphany, you know, catharsis, resurrection. This is sort of where we get into the Joseph Campbell, you know, part of our film, and you know, from the beginning, setting up the road as a barrier, and you know, the crossing, the tears of the sand there, and it was really nice, even in storyboard form, to have this. This is actually a temp piece of music that was done by Danny Elfman for, I believe, The Kingdom, that we ended up keeping because it just fit so well and became the kind of iconic piece for his journey. And it was one of those things where we had all these themes in the movie, and typically you'd say, okay, well, this is where his theme plays out, but he's so devoid of personality. He's so not knowing who he is and kind of stripped to zero, just all the sort of everything kind of stripped bare, that it's nice to have a tune you hear nowhere else in the film.
Yeah, and even in the animatic, that where Wyatt had created this crossing the road, it had the emotion in it. And
also a scene we prevised, remember?
That's right, and then we prevised it a few months later.
Yeah, I love the scene. And the lighting is just phenomenal here on the road. I mean,
Yeah, David Menny was our lighting supervisor on this one.
and hitting all those, it's really musical where the flares happen. This is my favorite one, right here coming out of the dust, silhouette, bam.
I love how there's this brief moment where he's illuminated by the amber of
The taillights.
tail lights. I just love that.
This was a scene the animators all loved dearly. Anyone who came on the show, you know, this was the scene that sucked them in. Whatever else they saw that they and loved, but this was the scene that they knew they were going to be working on something that was really, really special.
And then I remember Alex Cannon.
Legs and get everybody working it.
This is a great piece of animation. I love the really here.
I love that Rango's mouthing.
He's doing the lines with him.
Totally. High school play, junior high. When you see the kids in a elementary school play. That was a treat. This track that's coming up, Lorne over at Zimmer's just absolutely crushed this music. It's so gonzo metal.
Yeah.
It's, and the chant that we did in the house. This is still the chant.
I was going to ask you, this is us.
Oh, yeah.
Just
this
kind of
is
chanting
from like 3 years earlier, and with no click.
Grits
So
and
he's like, he
spit
clicked it
and
out
monkey.
and then wrote the music to the tempo that we originally chanted.
That stained glass and the...
Yeah.
Yeah, John really, I thought, did a great job with his set, and that stained glass took forever to get right.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. I just love how it's like there, it's hitting the floor, and you can see the orange on the mayor.
So one thing we should mention is that John Logan was the screenwriter that we worked with.
Extraordinary.
And John is amazing, and he was acted almost like a faculty advisor for us as we would bring him ridiculous things we wanted to do.
Dramaturgically correct.
Yes, but he, he writes villains so well.
He did the voice of the mayor
in the animatic, yeah.
It's a great job.
But the scenes when with the villains that John wrote we didn't change them at all. I think we kept them almost word for word, whereas the other scenes, we did a lot of improv, we did a lot of silliness that we added to it. But he writes villains so perfect.
So all the good scenes are John.
And all the messy ones are.
People have to believe in something.
Roll and all those things at once. It's tough to get right.
And the water too. Those are some of our first water sims on the show, and trying to figure out, detail levels and what's right for the what's right for the look of the film.
But it's interesting that when you look at the storyboards, particularly for that sequence, they're pretty accurate in terms of the, if you imagine the pencil version of that exact sequence and the timing, and I think Wyatt and Craig did a great job at Maters.
Yeah.
The room full of animals. Remember that? It was like, everything's, oh God, it took forever to just keep him nuanced. Yeah, and to break it into sections.
Yep.
Great crowd, Annam, by the way.
Giblets, always a good one.
Anytime you can get giblets in.
I try to get it in every movie I make.
Yeah, how long did these take to render? It's a pretty packed frames
a lot
there,
going
too.
on.
I mean, luckily, I think one of the reasons why we did backload the sequence because we knew we had a lot of characters in it, so we knew that we'd be more up to speed with rendering large groups. Early on in the show, it was really hard to actually render large groups of characters, so we had to do a lot of optimizations to get everybody to render.
Yeah, didn't we shut down your whole farm? I mean, we maxed it out a few times.
The render farm?
For sure. I mean, there were nights
Organic
render farm? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No hormones.
There were nights where we were pushing it into the red, right?
Yep. We were pretty much using the whole render pool, which has never happened before, and using more, we needed more hours. We didn't finish everything overnight. We'd have to prioritize and choose the shots that we needed to finish.
Do you ever worry that the render farm will become sentient?
Yeah, every day.
Rattlesnake Jake, so much to talk about. I mean, just the anim, the sidewinder, the motion, the design from, early Eugene drawing and then the crash drawings. And
we almost had him be an albino at one point. For months we had him as an albino.
I'm really glad we didn't go down that route.
And Bill Nye's performance, I think, is just extraordinary. He really commits.
His first American accent, he told us.
Snakes are just notoriously hard to animate, just the way their bodies are built, and figuring out how to give the animator enough opportunities to use the whole body and decide where they want it on the ground and where they don't want it on the ground, etc. That they just end up being really complex. The controls to animate them are really complex. And we had a great guy, KG, who rigged Jake, and then a really fantastic lead animator, Jacob Pistecki, who was in charge of Jake as a character, and really just came out great.
Not to mention
tough to animate.
Patrick, who each one of the scales is a separate scale. Like it's not a map. It's not a. He really wanted the scales to slide on each other.
Those are 3D plates moving against each other.
Yeah. So it's super dense, but man, it made all the difference in the world.
And Justin Holt painted each of the scales.
Yeah, individually
to get the pattern on there.
It's great. You can see him separating when he bends and bunching up, and it's great.
I really wanted Jake to always feel like you couldn't compose him, that there would always be a piece of him, on the left-hand side of frame and a rattle coming in the right.
Right.
And,
You never
he's
saw him
all-encompassing. You can't, the frame can't hold him, that he's he is the Grim Reaper. I mean, he's sort of omnipresent everywhere, surrounding you at all times. And the rattle, I mean, Peter Miller did such a fantastic job with the sound design on the sequences. That rattle moves around the surrounds, it moves from behind you and in front of you. Genuinely scary.
He's got a mythic quality. I love the mustache. That's kind of a Lee Van Cleef nod, right?
This is definitely the hardest scene dramatically for the animators to get.
Oh, the subtlety of those little eye moments, and Rango wanting to be the hero, but just the inability to physically do it. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have the capacity. And remember how many times we reanimated those close-ups?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just too much, too far, not enough. Back, just finding that moment where he wants to pull that trigger. He wants to be that guy. He wants to be the hero, and he's just letting everybody down, and he knows it. That's really where the complexity of the rigs themselves, the complexity of the character design, the amount of detail in those faces. I mean, you just can't get that. The human face has there's a language there as you read other people's faces, and sometimes in animation we distill things down to 16 basic expressions, and it's so nice to take Rango to a completely different place.
And you talked about this from the beginning. Yeah. Gore, I remember that fake kiss, that fake freezing was one of the first things that you wanted to do once we figured out she had the freezing problem. And that stayed through.
That's right. And I remember walking in with the name Beans.
That's right, we were trying to name her.
Beans.
You had a list of dog names. That's what you walked in with.
You stay up here on the ridge, and if anything goes wrong, you give the signal.
Play. Now, this was interesting. So the play, we actually put into the movie here, and then went back and modified the terrarium. Remember the terrarium and the play were they didn't coexist as a pair originally.
Match. Yeah.
We went back and I'm watching the animatic. We're like, we need to really pay something here that we've been priming before. I just
my head hurts every time I see.
He really waxed those guys. This was a ridiculous day on stage.
That was fantastic. Just fantastic.
We did all this. We had all these props, all these hats.
Yeah, that was
The
quite
confetti.
foolish.
We threw confetti.
It was great to see, Buford and the different versions of the squeak. I'm like, that's not
quite.
it. That's not quite. All right.
The lighting here and in Shootout, I think, are some of the best kind of town lighting. I really like we just kind of blasted the sunlight in there and then let a lot of the bounce light off the ground do the rest of the work.
The non-sky, It's so important to balance the skies out.
And it really is. I mean, especially moving from the terrarium to immediately to this world that's hot, and the heat vapor in the background, and just the kind of almost Skip Leach,
Well, he ain't afraid of nobody. He's a-telling that bird what for.
When you see me coming, stand aside.
I love how Johnny found a voice for Rango that seems organic, and yet it's still, connected to that original voice of the very theatrical goofball in the terrarium. It's got a little bit of Don Knotts in it.
This is
that's
a great performance.
one of our
from Kevin.
former presidents.
Great job.
What's he doing now?
I think it's a number 2.
The Pepto-Bismol bottle. It's interesting because there's a lot of sort of found objects in the town, but
Right. Yeah.
don't really play them up. This
Kudos
is probably
to,
one of the few things that you can really identify.
Yeah. Kudos to Jim Carson who designed, I think, practically all of the buildings.
And he actually helped set the lighting look.
Lighting,
the way
texture.
he
Well, also
drew
John
those.
Nolan, that first test of the rotating bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really
beautiful.
beautiful passes.
Yeah,
That
it's
okay, let's
fantastic.
just take a look at what our lighting is going to be like.
He basically took Jim Carson's illustration and made a 3D turnaround.
this sequence is a great show off for our guys at ILM who do destruction and simulation of
I
objects.
couldn't believe this when I saw it. How did you?
James Tooley and his
Tooley.
team.
Unbelievable. Those guys are just off the hook. And it's so nice, you know, everybody, the whole gang, I think really appreciated these conversations about, you know, a sense of ownership. It's not shot, you know, it's like that whole kind of, we're not making shots, we're making a movie. You know, I just remember every conversation, it's not a shot, it's a movie.
It was a...
And you just see them get excited about it. Like, you know, I don't know when that threshold, when it was like, oh, wow, wait a minute, we're not making it.
Rango shoots.
It's funny because
so
somebody...
free.
I love this
gag.
this guy.
Yeah,
With the gun and arrow.
Well, next time we see the owls, we have to get their names across.
Okay.
Senor Flan, Lupe.
Here's Claudia Black as the Angelique, the sexy
Nice.
receptionist fox.
And she was tough too, design-wise, because she always wanted to look too sort of conventionally cute. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah, she looked a little Disney at first.
She's probably one of the cleanest characters.
Yeah.
But she's
got-
from France. So
that's right.
She's more sophisticated.
And I love this recurring theme of Rango in the box and the terrarium keeps coming back.
He's always
visually.
framed by
Yeah.
a device. His life is in context of a theatrical setting.
I think he knows. I think the mayor knows. It took a little while.
Getting the humor just right on it.
I love how the second guy is just wailing.
Oh,
This-
he's just
David
jamming.
Hidalgo came in and played this guitar part, and we rolled video on it. Just,
yeah.
He's just like hunched up. He's just completely focused on just wailing.
You guys gave us great video for all the musicians in all of the mariachi shots, and we followed it religiously. It was tough to get you because you would call us on it, like, you know, that's not quite the right.
Private player doesn't have to push a valve every time.
So this is a bonus scene that was not in the theatrical release, but this was the original
This is in the
possible
movie-
ending.
This is in the movie forever. It
yeah.
sort of got dropped at the last minute.
We debated earlier whether to get rid of it, but we thought maybe we needed to, catch up with all the posse.
I love this scene. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
That water's
It's ultimately
fantastic.
it's not in the theatrical release. I think because we have two endings, and also, as you see, sort of Rango's sort of returned back to his original state. Whereas I think there's something very satisfying about the fact that he's moved on. Don't spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
This is us spoiling it.
Exactly. This is skewing it. Yeah.
In case you wanted to see it, but there's some great gags. I mean, the Tic Tacs and the gun lotion.
And it seems
One of
like
my
you-
personal favorites.
Yeah, gun lotion.
Gun lotion.
And it seems like when you're pushing in on the mariachis in the shot prior to this, you're ready for the movie.
I mean,
to
I
end.
feel
That's the end of the
People
story.
are getting
Yeah.
up to leave.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, fantastic.
This is a subversion. Not necessary, but funny.
But funny.
Look at those bikinis back there.
Yeah. I mean, almost everybody has some kind of costume change going
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
Flowers
they
added
all
or
did.
stripes or...
Forever be remembered. So this is the sunset shot.
Great sunset shots.
Yeah, I love his.
That's
This
my
is the
favorite
sunset
line.
shot.
Give them a good one. Like that's what he cares about.
It's the performance of a lifetime. That's a classic too. I love it. It's like it's a sunset shot, and it suddenly cuts to sunset.
Yeah.
Again, sort of fourth wall. This epilogue or coda was really much about the film language and the film itself,
And knowing
the
we're
wrapping up the
in
hero.
a film, yeah, being very aware of the conventions.
This Winston Churchill voice is one that he doesn't do really anywhere else in the film. He just
Yeah,
comes out with
just
it
break it
suddenly.
out for the ending.
Will be watching you.
And Hal, your other animated shot, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. How Sam and lighting technicians is to talk about character.
Yeah.
Everything was a character discussion. Where is he coming from? Where is he going from? Oh, Stephen Root. Oh, he is a god.
Stephen Root.
He's a god. And you guys really are foaming.
That's one of the favorite pieces of reference that you shot.
With Toad chewing. We had Toad had to chew the Alka-Seltzer with no water.
Toad's a real guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Toad is
dark.
not a
In
toad.
the video, you're going, no, don't spit it out. You can't spit it out.
No, try to talk. Count to 1, 2, 3, 4. He's talking, didn't talk.
That was one of the best parts of this, is shooting little bits and pieces of reference footage that we would then deliver.
Someone had to get
Stephen
hurt,
Root
we'd
was
get
off
him.
the hook with his
he's so
commitment to the, and he did Mary Mac and he did Doc. And he did a little bit of Mr. Snuggles.
Yeah.
And his face actually informed the design of Dog. It's one of the few characters that actually hadn't
Was
been
based
polished
on
off
the
by the time the actor was cast.
yeah.
And crap,
Stephen
Stephen
guy
Root
is-
is a pro, and he's a great guy.
He's the desert island actor. If you had 5 actors you could take to a desert island and you had to do 7 genres,
How long are you going to be on this desert island?
I don't know, but I just I'd take Bill Nighy and I'd take Stephen Root and these guys who can be 100 different things.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so amazing. And he just commits.
And I have to say, Crash did a good job as Parsons, the bank
Oh,
clerk
yes.
at the
You're my
front.
favorite vocal performance.
Yeah.
The bank's been robbed.
Oh no, the bank's been robbed. I lost my voice for 3 days.
That was great.
Hits the shovel, ricochets back towards number 3, and that
There was a lot of yelling in this movie. Like, everybody, we need you in the...
We need a crowd.
We need everybody to yell for 10
This is
minutes.
beautiful. This lighting was fantastic, Tim. Really off the hook. Gordy.
I love how you guys let things go dark where they need to go dark and let it get a little blown out where they're getting blasted and stuff, and it feels great.
It was nice that we kind of were able to embrace that and just not overlight everything, You were constantly just trying to make it look as like we were there shooting it. If you're exposing it that way, that stuff's going to go dark. You're not going to be able to see it.
The number of singular, it's most animated movies, you'd have the town full of pigs.
Right, yeah.
The big pig, the small pig, the
Right.
mama pig, the daddy pig.
And then
every
variations on the
character
same,
is
yeah.
different in this movie. It's like,
Yeah, there's over 90, right? Unique
Yeah, 90.
character designs in this.
oh, Ray Winstone.
I love Bad Bill as a design, and Ray did such an awesome job with the performance and the voice. It was just great, and he's just I love his design. He's a gunslinger that can't reach his own guns.
His arms are too small.
T-Rex.
Another great note for the animators: no gratuitous movement. That was a huge.
Don't
Some-
be afraid to be still.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Don't
Less
just
is
do
more,
something,
definitely.
stand there. Yeah, it took a while to get to that because animators they want to animate.
They want to move
Absolutely.
They want to
something.
move the hell out
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
And just to getting them to find the moments of stillness and Gore, you were always asking for truth and
Yeah.
not just antic, funny motion, but to really find the truth in it. And
There's a lot of standing up and very, very hard to have a conversation on this movie without a lot of hand gestures and getting up and
Making
pushing
faces.
tables around. Beautiful smoke.
That smoke shot is one of my favorite shots.
This performance is pretty singular.
Waffles.
Kevin Martell, our
Did he animate this?
lead animator on Rango, really established the.
And those taps,
look of Rango.
the cadence of those taps are from like the original animatic.
That's in the animatic.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we did it. Yeah.
Same with a little squeaky.
There was so much good comic timing that came directly from the animatics. Time and time again, if we were having trouble with a comic moment, we would just, all right, let's go back to the animatic.
Right.
It was funny in the animatic when it was just drawings. Why isn't it funny now? And it was just great.
Keying on sound.
then
It was
give
great
it-
to have Ray and Johnny together for this
Oh,
scene
yeah.
too. Really.
Remember this? It's like, okay, remember when your mom spits on a napkin and wipes your face? It's just
I could see all the producers cringing.
Everybody comments on the grit of this movie, and you guys really found a way to have a reality to that. Was that hard to do, those multiple passes?
Yeah, that stuff in particular was really difficult shot.
The whole
John
comp,
Hansen did
the
those.
comp team as well. Really great job.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of finishing happened in our comp department.
know.
They added a lot of the atmospherics. They did a lot of the Nelson Sepulveda was our
We need to populate this town, and we didn't. I love those westerns where you know, Strother Martin is, like somebody walks into a bar and says 2 lines,
Boom,
and you feel
yeah.
like if the camera followed them, there'd be a whole other movie.
totally.
And it's like, you've got
Everybody in this
Clinker.
town
Clinker,
could have his own story.
Let's name him
Jode,
Papa Joe,
Crevice.
Crevice.
Crevice, Mr. Snuggles coming up. We got so many. I don't know if people, some of these characters. We named them all.
yeah, all backstories.
All right, name the kids. Cletus,
Lucky,
Boo.
Dutch.
Boo.
Cletus.
Priscilla.
Oh, did Cindy say
Priscilla,
Cletus?
yeah. There she is. That's. I mean, Crash. You took that
This was actually the very first thing we animated on the film. We used this sequence as a test bed to kind of get characters working, get the town of dirt up and running.
As well as Roger Deakins' lighting test.
Yeah,
you know,
beautiful.
This was proof of concept that it was even going to work, this whole idea
Depth of those eyes.
using ILM.
I love Fergus's eyes. You just want to pop them out and give them a good rinse. They're filthy.
Whoa!
That stash is
Spray a
awesome.
little
No
WD-40
lip
in
sync
there.
problems with him.
I love the Roadrunners in the background. I could just watch the background of this movie.
One of the things I like about the character design, Crash, is the asymmetry of everybody. It made it harder to build them, but
That was kind of that's spawned off of Jim's initial design, which is I think that aesthetic we were attracted to. It's like as soon as we lost it, something was missing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
We got
mantra
two.
for the whole town.
Yeah,
Okay, wait, Cobb
absolutely.
is
Look at that guy.
Slim.
go.
That's Slim.
That's Slim.
Cobb in the
Cobb's in the
background.
background.
This walk on Mr. Snuggles coming up, this John Wayne walk, we ripped that directly from reference we shot of Crash.
Crash did the
I still have the movie file.
Here's a little
I had a
hammer.
big lunch that day.
Well, there was a time at the beginning of this movie, Crash and I talked, and we said, okay, if we're going to do another animal movie, a talking animal movie, what's going to be special about it? And we said it has to go to a whole new level of texture and asymmetry and grunginess. And
Well, that's
all
what's funny is that there's almost no more conventional form for an animated film than a talking critter picture, but it's so not conventional in any real sense.
This scene's worth talking about just from the lighting standpoint. I mean, beyond like we could spend a lot of time talking about all these characters because it's the first time you get to look at them. But I just think when you first started, moving from very rudimentary test lighting to actually full renders of this scene, and this scene took forever to light.
it was very hard.
It's so
I
critical.
remember and we had talked about it for so long about how it had to be great. It sort of was kind of like lighting wise, it kind of, at least for me, was one of the seminal moments of the film. Just trying to figure this lighting out. We had a lot of conversations, and I remember Gore would get on the phone with Ryan.
Right now, they believe in you.
I love the mayor as a character. I like his, his design. Ned Beatty did an awesome job with his voice and, making it a new thing. And it's just and his design's just fantastic. It was so much fun to animate.
Ned Beatty is, I mean, it was such a pleasure to work with him. And his performance in Network is still,
iconic.
Unbelievable. I mean, the primal forces of nature. I mean, he just, and there's a little movie called Wise Blood that he's in with Harry Dean.
And we kind of walked through the sequence just in terms of how might we do this on set? How would we light this thing and not make absolutely every single...
We're doing the whole movie.
No, it was a culture change, really, to go from being sort of the guys who stick the creature into the live action scene in post-production.
Matching plates and
you're
lighting.
a filmmaker and you're making a movie, a whole movie.
I think this whole sequence keyed his character.
Well, I drew that after we went to the pet store. Remember?
That's right.
We looked at a
And we saw the dead bug floating in the water.
Totally.
And,
Like,
Dr. Marks.
and we saw a real chameleon, and he had such character. Like that's gotta be him. That's
Yeah.
Rango right there.
I just love his discarded food. It wasn't a lot.
These shells of bugs. It's awful.
And I remember all the discussions about the chameleon eyes and how important they were, but it seemed like such a scary idea going into it because you look at, animated characters, they've always got those big, emotive ping pong ball eyes that read so well, and we were going to cover them up with flesh. And so it was kind of scary risk to take with our hero character, but it really paid off.
Yeah, I had a feeling it would work because the whole eye moves, and so you kind of have two eyes going on. You have the big ball that's moving around, and then you have his pupil that's in the middle.
Plus those rings.
Yeah.
The rings are so expressive. They're like circular eyebrows in terms of shaping and expression.
And they do change shape drastically. When he gets sad, they bend. We'll see some scenes coming up where those rings are really adding to the expression.
We had one guy making all those shapes up at ILM.
Who was that?
Jung Sung. He worked on that for months. Making all those different expressions, trying to make them all, dial and work together so that...
And without stretching scales, too. That was a huge concern of ours.
He also created all of the facial controls for Davy Jones. Same guy.
Oh, okay.
Very talented guy.
There you go.
I love Rango. I love Rango that he, maintained the energy from the first pencil sketches we were doing, And then once you sort of took over Crash, you really made him a real guy with the colors, figure out the scale pattern.
But there was a lot we had done up at Island as well.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, getting it into a 3D model and being able to see it from different angles where we couldn't see it before, and then the color and the scales. And
we went up there a few times, and we actually got to poke around with the geometry.
We literally sat there
with the modeler.
Frank, said, move this.
And Hans it's Hans rewriting Hans, but he's like, at the end of the day, I was like, let's just use it. Really beautiful cue, great epiphany cue.
See, this is risky because you take this character who's been so wacky the whole time and you get serious for a few minutes, and you have to keep it interesting without relying on silliness.
Getting these faces to read on these cactuses was really interesting, you know. We see them throughout the film, but it's different cactuses in different places, and always trying to get a different kind of a face to read, but not the same face. There's the one in the dream. There's the one he sees early in the film. It's really tricky.
Martin Murphy was our modeler on that, and he built a bunch of different heads with different faces in them for the different portions of the film.
I remember seeing the textures on those for the first time, and that's when I realized, oh, this is going to work. This is going to be fantastic.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, you know, it was just so clear to me that, you know, I don't know what it is, but when you guys turn on that sun, you know, it's from all matching all those live action plates and matching all the reality of what you do day in and day out. But as soon as we saw the first tests, and you know, bam, it's like it's not a multiple point source. It really has that sort of specularity in the single point source, and it's just, you know, I look at those sequences.
And the contrast ratio, for some reason, seems much more accurate than when other people do sunlight.
The sun is really hard to mimic. It's really hard to get right. I mean, it's much
easier.
easier.
One big sun button that you guys put?
Yeah, it's big sun. Yeah. I mean, I think the contribution of...
Turn on the sun, boys!
Everybody puts on goggles.
Yeah.
Took the
all
Dubatine
500
off the
people
windows.
up there. Tour. San Francisco shuts down for 3 hours.
It's right next to the funny button. We've got a funny button and a weird button. They're dials, actually.
Ours broke.
But the contribution from the environment, from the sun, is what also gives it a lot of that realism. If you look at Rango, you see the bounce coming off the ground.
Subsurface scattering. I mean, there's the light under his skin. It's just...
So is there ray tracing going on? Is it actually...
In some cases, yeah. Okay. Like when we do glass and those types of things, that is a ray tracing technology used.
We debated this so long. How much of a flashback? How much do we explain the plumbing of the world?
The movie was hijacked by its own plot for quite some time. Wait a minute. So, whose boots are those? But give me the mayor's boots.
Who was bleeding water?
Whose wheelchair tracks are those?
Las Vegas took all the water?
Oh, man. This was brutal. Because if you explain too much to make it make sense, it gets boring. And if you don't explain enough, people are like, well, what happened?
Yeah, we did that flashback 200 times.
It's very tricky. It's very tricky.
Right
And how
edge.
much to tell the audience.
Well, ultimately, it's about Rango, not about the plot.
That's right.
You know, it's about Rango.
It's just his emotion.
You know, coming to terms with who he is and realizing he can't leave the story that you've created, and that these aren't inanimate objects. These are, you know, this isn't an audience. These are actually my friends. And, you know, I think that story works on existential level and also on a very, you know, who doesn't want to be loved? And who doesn't want to belong? This sandstorm is beautiful.
The sand is so
and this,
incredible.
this resurrection through the graveyard. I mean, I just always loved this shot from the beginning.
And just those flowing little pieces of grass over in the corner.
Yeah, when we started that, they were ecstatic, weren't they? Like, that grass has to blow. Yeah, glass when I see this sequence. Like, glass was tough.
The magnification, refraction, the amount of dirt, everything really beautifully executed. Not, you know, it was really interesting to talk early on about emotional reality, not photo reality, but sort of emotional reality, and that with the detail in all these characters, and maybe the world like this sequence going quite surreal world. So not so much like things had to be absolutely real, but there had to be an emotional reality to the characters, and that that required a tremendous amount of detail. I mean, you've got a protagonist with a, you know, suffering an identity crisis. It's not the 12 expressions of the talking potato. You know,
Right.
there's like a tremendous amount of muscle spasm, involuntary muscle spasm under the eye, you know, twitches. I mean, the animators, Keva and Maya, the whole gang.
Look at all those faces right there in those 2
It's
seconds. That's
unbelievable.
amazing.
Really, and really useful to have the actors and Johnny and Isla here, you know, really committing to the performance. In fact, this scene, I think, more than any, when they're, and I knew it from the time we were storyboarding the scene. You know, what are you doing? What are you? You're frozen. I just want that scene only. You can't.
I think, in fact, at one point we had her backing away
Leaving,
slowly.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Another difficult water.
This looks
area.
so good. This lighting is so beautiful.
Open the door! Okay, plan B. What? Means you're mumbling.
And we actually flooded a stage during the record to do this. Yeah, we did.
No, seriously, I did voices underwater
I know
at
you
Dave
did.
Shannon's pool.
Yeah,
in the middle of winter, unheated. That's why the
voice sounded
pitch is a
higher.
little. Yeah, it's a little high.
Dedication.
I did beans.
Another interesting portion is, you know, having to make these guys feel wet. You know,
Yeah.
see if you look at her hair, the lower part of her hair is darker than the upper part of her hair, and we had to actually do a wet look on top of all the other looks for all the characters that
That's
that are in
right.
this finale sequence.
The kiss is really nice.
I love the background.
The contact, the lip contact. Is
Spins her around.
Yeah.
Hey, beans.
yeah, nobody's listening to what the mayor's saying at that point.
No, you're just watching. Watching the
Some lizards.
background.
Great nostril flare. Look at the muscle spasm. You know, the sim on his jowls is
Yeah.
really nice
Yeah,
too. That
yeah.
fat sim is really great.
That was a huge shot. Dave Gosman storyboarded that.
That water was super easy. There's a button.
Another
button.
We had Ned in that one of those '70s chairs. The
Papa Sam. Yeah.
That spun around.
That's been,
This is another one of those things that where we had him in the wheelchair with a blanket in his lap the whole time, and then we're like,
Oh, what's underneath?
yeah, what's
Where do those
underneath?
suspenders
hello,
go?
hello, ladies.
What are they actually clipped to?
Whoa, mandible.
He's all about airs.
That's a great performance.
I love how the
Studying
water
hat
becomes
tips.
mist.
That's right.
You know, the particulation going on in the background is so complicated.
Rainbows there in the mist.
Yeah, really great work.
This is a huge shot. Yeah, that incredible action, and then it lingers, and then people start coming out splashing.
Waffles just throws himself down in the water. Nice wet look on Priscilla. Yeah.
That's why we needed Abby. Yeah.
That's great, Anna. Really nice. That took a little while.
Yeah.
That
It was.
shot's where we got that.
Yeah.
The image from the dream.
From the dream sequence, yeah. I'm just glad they were still there when we saw the footage.
This prayer was great. I mean, it didn't make it into the final cut, but the organ music and.
Rango's struggling. He doesn't know whether he's arresting him, having a funeral, or a wedding. So he combines them all. You have the right to remain
I do
silent.
that from time to time.
I love the cloud
Put on the
shadows
spot.
here. Yeah.
It was probably best not to stay.
I see you're consulting.
It's really good to have those moments after you watch a film with your kids that you come back home
Letters and
and the light using the
Yeah.
bar lighting.
yeah.
Here's our
all
lizard.
the techniques from the bar lighting. Oh yes, FMA. This was really fun, and Johnny did a great job taking the warm up concept and adding a little Felix Unger kicker.
It's my only shot in the whole film.
That's right, Hal. That's right. Well, there's the shot. Oh yeah, that's not in the movie anymore.
Oh yeah, they cut that out.
We cut out most of
I
it.
had two shots and you cut one of them.
Now, Gore, we had to rewrite this opening scene many
Oh my
many
God.
times. We kind of knew that going in, that this scene would
It was
change a lot.
haunting, and just packed with, so front-loaded with, so much about the character that we had to get across in such a condensed period of time. I was always concerned that this scene was going to just be, stop talking. Please, lizard, stop talking.
Yeah. Remember we used to open the whole movie with the shot of a glass of water, and Rango was moving behind it. Yeah. 2 parts H, 1 part O. Just the way I like it.
Yeah, and Raoul, the bartender. That's right. He was going to be having a cocktail party. Wasn't even putting on a play. He was having a cocktail party, talking to his friends.
He was
inanimate
mixing
objects.
drinks, but the only drink you could have mixed was water.
And I love the simple look of the terrarium, how it kind of lulls us into a sense that this film's going to have this very simple kind of computer graphics look, and then all that gets smashed on the highway. We see what the world really looks like.
The sucker punch.
Yeah.
And production-wise, this was one of our first sequences we worked on, too. So we were kind of grappling with the look of the film, also knowing that we wanted it to be a little simpler than the rest of the film, so.
And Rango's color as well.
Yeah.
The whole thing, trying to figure out what color he's going to look.
Yeah, really, really nice. This was my favorite part, sort of breaking the fourth wall, and the film is so self-reflexive. That the mariachi Greek chorus singing about the protagonist being an actor, fancies himself the hero, and again, just condensing all of that into, meet him, get his want across, and then completely destroy his world, and it's really his birth. I mean, this terrarium destruction. It's like his metaphorical.
Humans find me uncomfortably good-looking, but you seem remarkably at ease. Oh, stop it! No, really.
A little bit of what's the movie?
The Dudley Moore?
The Dudley Moore picture.
Art Dazzle?
No, it was it Foul Play or something? When like the bed folds out and the disco lights come on.
That's where the disco ball
Goldie
idea came
Hawn.
from.
Oh my God, that was ridiculous. That was actually a really good lighting reference, though.
It was. That's what we were using for that disco ball.
So here's the first time we see his context of where he really is. Whoa.
It goes by pretty quick. The Ave Maria was a temp cue that we just
That we
never got
kept,
rid of.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of
Hans
that-
was like, we're never going to make it sound like that. And I was,
A lot of things that
Mono.
we ended up keeping started in the animatic that we edited with Wyatt Jones.
This was a hard series of shots to get right. The energy of that explosion and all the pieces flying and having it be comedic, but, visceral.
Nicely done.
Nice swan song.
And then a great musical intro here, David.
Hidalgo, just the whole Los Lobos came in and just crushed this, sort of surf guitar version of the tune. And I loved this, the sequence that Prologue did, and Henry over there is just, this was really, really fun.
Did I read it's Arturo Sandoval as the trumpet?
Arturo came in, he was actually as an afterthought, because we had this track, and there was a day on the stage where Arturo was in as a sort of trumpet player for the orchestral score. And, Hans pointed out, I was like, wow, we gotta get him to play trumpet on this tune. And he just came in one take and played this trumpet solo, which is just, it was such a gift. It's just one of those, you just sat back, and the combination of Hidalgo's guitar and Arturo Sandoval's trumpet here is just, to me, he hits these high octaves at the end, and it's just like crazy.
These animated titles are great. It was fun.
We almost did something very different for the ending, where the mariachis were going to walk back out and start improving.
That was a really good movie, eh?
Look at this cast. Denise Chameleon, come on. She
Bravo,
put this
Denise.
cast together. Unbelievable. Timothy.
There they are.
And that's Rango.
Roger Deakins.
That was a lot of fun. All right, well, thank you so much for listening to us babble for 104 minutes.
If you made it this
thank
far.
you. Thanks, Hal. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Jim. Thank you, Crash.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
For everything. It was a blast. And
Thank you.
all right. Until next time.
Until next time, keep it fuzzy.
Dangle.
Good night, everyone.
From out of the dust came a man true and bold, champion of the fandango. By night he drank whiskey, by day killed bad men, and the townspeople knew him as Rango. Coming down the mountainside, the people hailed his name, and of his legend they sang. Oh, with iron in his heart and steel in his glove, he pumped their heads all full of lead. Rango, 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 Rango. A ladies' man indeed, from his head down to his knees. Rango was doing the tango when in came Bad Bill from his hideout in the hills with a notion to kill Rango. Rango, 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 Rango. Rango, 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 Rango. Now Rango, he is gone, but his legend still lives on in the brothels and saloons of Durango. He lived as he died, with a 6-gun at his side, and all the ladies cried for Rango. Rango, 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 Rango.
Again, a song that sort of made it all the way through the process.
Right.
That didn't really get
You and I kind
changed.
of improv that one day, and it ended up being redone.
They did a great job taking it and making it real. But it's nice to kind of work on the story and have guitars around and have sound design and music and everything sort of informing narrative and you know, illustrations. And so it wasn't just screenplay and then,
Right.
you know, shoot it and then movie. It was like this completely organic. I mean, the edit room up and running at the same time you're doing drawings, at the same time you're playing guitars and picking music and you know, everything, going on scouts to, in the desert to look at cactus and coming back, reference material and having that informed narrative. I love the dead end of that scene. I love it. We just go out of town. I just come back.
There's nowhere to go. We knew we needed a
cul-de-sac.
writing scene right away, but we also knew that there was nowhere to go.
The fact that survives the cut, you know, or to ride Not really. I just think it sums up his character so wonderful, and it's great to have a movie that can be a little loose like that.
Yeah. So here's where we really get to meet some of the posse, get to know. Here's Blake Clark as the Buford, the bartender, and here's Lou. Or here's Gore. Gore is playing.
That was a Dave Shannon special as well.
Conjunctivitis gag was just fantastic.
Yeah, nasty. One for the moms and kiddies.
For the kids.
Yeah, beautiful look again, lighting, and then getting into the tunnels and the torches. A lot of, looking at those torches from Pirates 1 and, having all that live action referencing, studying them. You guys did a great job.
Yep. Raoul's effects team was in charge of that, and they, some of the shots when they're moving fast, we'd do really specific sims for those. Kind of sectional, so we could, make it feel really long, different heights, and then we could set dress in boulders and pillars, and really, really outstanding.
Now, some people noticed those glasses. There's a little 4-year-old kid noticed that Mary Mac's glasses were there, and he said, "Oh, Mary Mac, did he drown?"
They shoved him in the jug,
yeah, that's what he
and
said.
then left him in the desert.
That was Tom's son.
That's fantastic. Yeah, well, that's what happened. Remember we were talking about actually having a quick flash of the Bad Bill, the muddy shoes.
Holding Mary Mac in the water. Some main characters die in this movie, which was kind of a bold move.
I don't know. Bambi, Old Yeller. We didn't make you shoot your dog. That killed me.
That's right.
I like those flying monkeys and the Wizard of Oz. They're still with me.
That's scary. Yeah.
Still with me. I'm still scarred.
String them up.
I love the mammogram.
Now, as much as I would like to take credit for the mammogram line, it's actually Gore Verbinski wrote that.
But you performed it so well, James.
You brought it to life.
You and your kin are coming with me.
This cue, there's a really great composer over at Zimmer's, Adam Peters, who doesn't use synthesizers. He's like one of the only guys over there who doesn't use synthesizers. And he did this cue right here, demoed it in his little room, whistled, did the whole thing, and it just, as soon as we heard it, we thought, just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty harsh look.
I love Dutch back there, a little serious little kid.
Where's the water?
There weren't no water.
I love that you get a sense of there really is a town in danger here. There's like over 100 people that are depending on this.
And then we play golf.
It's great. Yeah, it got a little weird. Remember we were trying to think of what game they were playing? Like, is it horseshoes?
This is like that. What was the James Bond movie with the golf scene? It was
Goldfinger, yeah.
Is it Goldfinger?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I was always kind of curious about the sequence because you have a lot of comedy, yet it's also revealing or he's figuring things out. Yeah,
we had to.
Touche. You've obviously mastered this game.
Yeah. And we took a chance, because it starts out as like a very classic quest movie, hero's journey, and then it shifts into this sort of Chinatown vibe. And we had to have this scene to solidify that part of it.
It does seem a bit naive, taking the word of admitted bank robbers. Besides, once they hang, your job is done.
Bravo! Job well done. But what if somebody did rob?
I love the wardrobe changes for Bad Bill's gang.
Yeah, those were fun. Those were based on Three Stooges.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a great gag.
You found that reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fun scene to shoot.
and this was also, in terms of the design and the lighting and the dust, there was great artwork for this, and another sort of later afternoon or early morning-ish type sequence that I think we started getting better at in terms of lighting as we moved through the movie.
Yeah, the light moves, gets lower and lower throughout the scene.
I love how they're suddenly in Monument Valley, Arizona.
The mayor's wheelchair was a lot of fun to work out. The big spring wound mechanism and the mechanism for golfing and all that stuff was a lot of fun to figure out and animate.
Great sound opportunity. It was a tragic golfing accident that actually
Injured the mayor.
Injured the mayor. Lightning, freak lightning storm.
Years and
There's a
years ago.
newspaper article on the wall.
Right, you can pause it and read the article.
The mayor has a rich history.
Yes, he's like the
prequels
Council of
about him.
Elders, and the or who's the oldest ape in Planet of the Apes? Who knows about all the
Dr.
Zaius?
Dr. Zaius.
Yes.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
Yeah, it's Dr. Zaius.
Is that what happened to Mr. Merrimack? Did he get left behind?
Careful, Mr. Rango. You seem to forget you're just one little.
And Rango is growing into the role here.
Almost.
Our new sheriff has been playing the hero for so long, he's actually starting to believe it.
That's a great performance. What was it all right?
Judge the Grim Reaper.
And Bad Bill was another one where the drawing by Dave Shannon kind of inspired the voice. We animated that at first in this super dramatic way. We were like,
In the
that's
previous,
great. Yeah, we got to keep
Operatic.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely where the film gets a little more surreal. You know, we get hints at it in that first dream sequence with the floating Mr. Timms and voiced by Alfred Molina, and you know, sort of roadkill into the voice of Mr. Timms. But here, I think we just, you know, we really let the sort of spirit of the desert and the spirit of the West take over, and a lot of it has to do with the ability to work small and to work outside the system. You know, that first year and a half having Graham sort of, you know, fund the sort of the story reel, and then not having any studio affiliation was really, I don't know, joyous, you know, to just have the house and the artists and kind of conjuring up this sort of stuff. The Academy Awards there in the back of the.
Well, this has a singularity of vision because you know, got to be so pure with how you wanted to tell this story, and we had such a small group of guys that we trusted that was left alone, like you said. Nobody was interfering at all.
It was a really tiny creative nucleus of you know, you, Jim, and Crash and Gore, and you know, out of which, you know, and then surrounded by others. But it was a really tight, small group that everything was flowing out of.
Well, I don't think you can do this kind of stuff with the committee. I mean, the you know, even with good intentions, the homogenization process by just multiple voices. I mean, why does he have a metal detector?
Right. Everything would have been questioned. Everything would have been so weird. Yeah.
You know, and it's just, you know, he's searching.
We were lucky. You know, Graham was great. John Carls, our producer, is very supportive of the vision.
Sherry and Adam.
Sherry Hansen, who came on when we, you know, moved into ILM territory, was such a great addition.
And Adam doing his sculptures in the back.
Yeah, our producer, Adam Kramer, sitting on the kitchen table sculpting Rango and sculpting Rattlesnake Jake.
Great job on The Spirit of the West, by the way, guys. I mean, really.
Incredible.
And
Look
Timothy
at that
Olyphant's
face.
voice was so great.
It was one of those, you know, humans are always really difficult to do CG because you hit that uncanny valley if you're not careful. But I think that the design sort of abstracts it enough that you can make it look really rich, detailed, and do a lot of realism to it, but you don't fall into that, whoa, that looks strange.
You still have to exaggerate it just enough so that it tells the eye, don't compare this to a real human.
Right.
Yeah. Aaron McBride, I think, designed that, right?
Is that right, Aaron? Yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
Aaron.
he was awesome. As well as Lars.
Look at Roadkill there.
Alfred Molina.
Just beautiful.
Sean Kelly was our lead animator on Roadkill. He also was lead on The Mayor, and I think he did a great job with both
I
characters.
love this. See this shot where a movie just allows a scene this long to play because he really is feeling something new here.
Again, this music is something we took from The Weatherman.
I was production designer on Rango.
And this is Jim Burkett. I wrote the story, co-wrote the story, and was a designer and did voices and things like that.
I'm Tim Alexander, and I was a visual effects supervisor at ILM.
Hal Hickel, I'm the animation director at ILM.
Welcome to Rango.
This was actually one of the last shots finished in the movie. Why was that, Hal Hickel? What took so long?
Well, we started it late in the game, and the mariachis are always tough anyways. We had long road, honing in on their characters over the course of the film, and somehow or other, this shot just ended up being last one to do, first in the film and last to make.
It's a great shot.
I mean, plus figuring out the stage. We went through a whole design process trying to figure out those.
Full peck and paw right there.
I love the classic stunt fall.
Yeah. You know there's a mattress waiting down there. Yeah. No.
But man, I was married to Jim doing Rango and Gore doing women.
I like the reality that Abigail brought to the.
Like in that earlier sequence, and here it I don't know.
May not have had
Also,
the right
you've got a lot
colors or
more
something.
to look at. I think when it was just two characters in the horizon, there was nothing to interact. There was nothing to cast shadows other than the characters themselves, and they were sort of cut mid-level. I mean, I think this is the right scene to do it in. That song that Rick Garcia and Ken just kind of crushed it. That was in the early stages of pre-production. This Rango tune it's interesting. The Thumb brothers, John and David Thumb, wrote this tune. There's vocals for it at the end of the movie over the credits. It's not only the title, the main character, it's the song, and it's a great, it's a good hook.
Marshmallows remind me of going camping with my daddy. I could eat them all night long. Of course, he did make me coughin' back up again for breakfast.
I love that we never know what his name might have been before he adopted the name Rango.
Well, can we just get something clear? Because there was an article where a reporter had called him Lars.
Lars, yeah.
And Johnny played that character, so in the credits he's credited as playing Lars.
Who is the driver of the car.
Yes. So then we just sort of had to come up with a name for that character. And then somebody had sort of thought that was Rango's name. Rango, just on the record, does not have a name. Doesn't exist
and it's definitely
until it becomes
not
Rango.
Lars, yeah.
And it's definitely not Lars if we did have a name.
He's the lizard with no name.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
So I love this part. Gore had this idea that he would just start drawing with a stick on fire. And I remember when you pitched this, Gore, you're like, how? What? What? He's drawing in the air? Yeah. There's a TIE fighter, there's Kiss.
That's right.
Subtle peachy
But it
doodles.
worked. I mean, we drew it several times, well, dozens of times, and then it actually kind of makes sense once you see it.
Absolutely. I like that technique. I mean, shooting the reference, we shot for still reference, but then shooting the video reference and moving faster and slower, and torches. And,
Persistence of vision.
Yeah.
A couple of people have said to me, "Oh, I saw the TIE fighter. That's ILM, right? That's your Star Wars." I'm like, no, that's not why.
That's what Rango's mind is made of. Just random scribblings on a notebook.
Rock and roll over, baby.
I love this.
Yes.
The belly button is the snake bite.
He digs right in there.
So this was another great area of learning experience for us, which was that how important eye lines are, Gore, to your story, and to the blocking, and just to the feeling of the actors. And we were rendering these things with true refraction, which means that the eyeballs actually get kind of distorted through the refraction, and it would turn the eye lines and point them all over the place.
Yeah, because animators were animating the pupil on the surface, and then rendering put it back and put the lens on top. Yeah. And so depending on your angle, the pupil would be a completely different place.
Yeah. It gave us great depth to the eyes, but we soon realized why people generally in cartoons just have the iris painted on the surface of the eye.
A lot simpler.
Oh my gosh, that was a nightmare.
But they
you guys
look
had to figure out a way to
compensate
reverse.
For it.
We did. We came up with a tool at the
inverted math.
Yeah.
To sort of say,
Yep.
this is where it needs to be once we put the lens on it.
Yeah, we did. We came up with a thing for the animators to use right at the end that would show them.
This sequence was always, beyond kind of having a lot of fun at the beginning of the sequence and riffing on all the belly buttons and the drawing. It's really where, people start believing in him. And I think where Rango first kind of clocks, whoa.
I'm into something real now.
Life is not a stage.
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Look at him staying up all night thinking about it.
I love this pairing of Rango and Beans coming up because our lead Rango animator, Kevin Martell, animated Rango, and our lead Beans animator, Maya Kaiser, animated Beans. And it's just such a, you know, beautiful scene, and the interaction's so great, and it's just beautiful animation.
And it was really, you know, also Isla and Johnny did a great, you know, this is one of the, you know, just we shut things down, the two of them just played the scene naturally, and I thought that was really, it's nice to get quite simple and real and honest, and, you know, it's, absurdity is such a powerful tool, but it's sort of the right, you know, and then it's nice that the left hook, you know, is sort of genuine emotion when you least expect it, or when you're sort of thinking everything is maybe a little bit over the top.
And people ask, why did we slow the movie down so much here? But you have to. If we didn't have this, it wouldn't have the emotional grounding, and it would really be missing. And it wouldn't work.
Plus, you've got the bat sequence coming.
That's right.
Shortly.
Just sit tight.
So just hold on, people.
And here's that nighttime color palette I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I thought this came out so nice.
Crash, you did a bunch of drawings of this scene. I remember.
Trying to get that, and getting our backgrounds right.
I like that
Such a tender moment.
Even when we do have characters that have great big sort of white eyeballs, that there's so much interest and detail in them. If you look at Beans' eyes, they're not just white. There's layers of kind of pearlescent, you know, detail and interest there. They're just beautiful.
I love she fakes it here.
Yeah.
She's got a freckle pattern that's sort of Julianne Moore a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
we looked at a lot of redheads.
Yeah.
For
Susan
reference of her.
Sarandon.
Yeah.
That helped a lot.
This performance reference that Johnny did was really good here too. I mean, it was really nuanced. I thought you guys did a great job kind of preserving and augmenting that.
Once we get outside, I think finding the right tone across all those shots of Rango speaking to the townspeople, and then Jake arrives, and boy, it was so tricky sequence.
Yeah, there were a lot of lectures with 40, and it's sort of, you know, guessing the amount of, you know, those are like, there's no handles. Those are frame accurate. Yeah. Every edit is frame accurate.
Craig Wood, by the way, editor.
And editorial is such a story room, really, in a film like this, because you're dealing with so many narrative aspects at once.
Well,
Sound,
we worked that
Stanton and Bill Hickey, that John Huston directed. So he's got some really great John Huston stories, and does a great impersonation.
No need to incite anxiety. I'll inquire about the mayor. But if you really feel there's some conspiracy occurring, I suggest you take it up with the new sheriff.
This scene coming up is one of my favorite scenes in the movie in terms of just comedy.
Yeah.
I laugh so hard every time.
Great line overlap. Great sort of put it all on top of itself and try to keep it, you know, quick.
10-gallon hat marked down for 15. Ridiculous.
And a great set here too. This thing has
great set dressing.
Kitchen sink in terms of set dressing in there.
Literally.
And I love just handing a loaded gun to a child.
Yeah, it's a great example of what, you know, probably
cartoons used to do.
Yeah,
that we can't do anymore. Absolutely. Foreboding.
It's so wrong.
He's chewing on the gun.
We really thought that this was going to be a
sign the Bible.
A problem.
But, you know, he just doesn't. I mean, Rango just doesn't get it.
If that is your real name, I am trying to save my daddy's ranch, which is on the verge of an agricultural meltdown.
This flaw of Beans was a kind of a fun thing to get right. You know, does she freeze? Does the camera do a little shimmy when she freezes? Is it just her?
A little sound effect.
Yeah,
helps
the sound effect. Good shot.
Doc.
Stephen did it again. And Lou Temple.
Lou Temple, yeah.
Amazing job.
Did what?
Let me ask you something.
I like this gag of biting the apple.
What happened to our last sheriff?
So is there any story behind the steampunk
Mr. Black?
Spider? Yeah, Mr. Black.
No, it's just, I don't know.
Just cool
references
goggles.
just kind of came out, yeah.
We
Again,
decided
it was
Mr. Black has a whole underground laboratory.
I love that job. That is one of my favorites.
Beginning part of the sequence was really about contrast. We really kept trying to darken.
This, I mean, really early on, Jim, I remember talking about just, you know, how the town needs a belief system. They've got to have some, there's going to be something about this town that is off, you know. You're not just walking into a straight Western. That they, you know, there's a little Stepford moment. There's a little bit of, and we were talking about the sequence and trying to get, you know, a little Eisenstein with the compositions and just, you know, he's not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, we knew we needed to take it to a weird place here. And
but also they're how long? Every Wednesday is like clockwork. I mean, that's what they do.
Well, yeah.
You know, and I love this track. Hank Williams, just. Okay, here we are. Welcome to the audio commentary portion of your fine Blu-ray or DVD. Gore Verbinski, the director, and I'm here